Welcome back, friends, to our study in Proverbs chapter 26. We're looking at how to answer a fool. And we've seen that really the answers go all the way back to God. We have the commands at the beginning that we must answer the fool. We have to answer the fool. We must make our defense. We have to have that. And we've seen what the fool knows. The fool knows that God exists. The fool knows that there is a God, that he is, some of his divine attributes they know. They have to say in their heart there is no God because they know they exist, because they want to do their abominable deeds, as it says. And the word of the cross, the word of truth, is foolishness to them, but it's wisdom to us who are being saved. People have gotten calloused in their hearts. They're upset. They've alienated themselves from God, even though they could know God. That's what they have done. And then we have the authority to go out there to answer the fool according to his folly, and to answer the fool not according to his folly, or to not answer the fool according to his folly. We have this command from Christ. Christ did both while he was on the earth. We have those examples there where he did not answer, and then there's examples where he did answer. And so we saw both of those going on, that Jesus did both. And he did both of those proverbs. And it is by his authority that we go out and we teach people. All authority has been on heaven and earth and has been given to Christ, and he says, go out there, disciple the nations, make disciples of all nations, baptize them, and then teach them to observe all that I've commanded. So we're supposed to teach them, answer the fool according to his folly, and then not according to his folly. And we've seen that God is the beginning of knowledge. We've learned that over and over again. The beginning of knowledge is God. But then the problem is, like Romans 11:36, if it's through him, for him, through him, and to him are all things, then everything eventually, all arguments, all of our knowledge has to go back to God. Otherwise, you end up in the infinite regress, which is foolishness. It is part of the foolish idea. Now, today we're going to apply what we learned this week, and so I want to look at a few passages here, three mainly. 1 Peter 3:15-16, it says, "But in your hearts honor Christ the Lord as holy, always being prepared to make a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you, yet do it with gentleness and respect, having a good conscience, so that when you're slandered, those who revile your good behavior in Christ may be put to shame." So we make our answer to the fool, right? We had that reason. We are to answer the fool. But how do we do that? We should not give a reason for the fool to slander us, though. They might hate what we're saying, but they shouldn't be looking at us as we're jerks, we're mean, right? We're supposed to do it with gentleness and respect. They can only hate us because we're acting how Jesus told us to act. God will deal with them. So we respond with gentle respect, so we can have a good conscience in front of them. We didn't personally do anything to make them slander us. But when they slander us, when they revile you because they're saying, well, everything goes back to God, like, oh, that's a horrible argument, you're so stupid. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to answer that fool, but I'm going to say, okay, but what about the infinite regress? What about Jesus? All right, so we need to do it with gentle respect. Only give people a reason to slander you, only because of the content of what you're saying, not because you're being unkind or you're not respecting them as a human. Hopefully they are rational, they have a mind, and so don't treat them like they're beneath you. Respect them, right? And then they can only slander you because of what you said, what you've confronted them with. Romans 12:17-21 says, "Repay no one evil for evil, but give thought to do what is honorable in the sight of all. If possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. Beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave it to the wrath of God. For it is written, 'Vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord.' To the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he's thirsty, give him something to drink. For by doing so, you will heap burning coals on his head. Do not overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good." So we're not to be the avengers of truth, right? God will make all wrongs right. We're to answer the fool. That's what we do. We feed him when he's foolish. We feed his foolishness. It's made him hungry. Well, we feed him. We give him water when his foolishness has made him thirsty. He didn't plan ahead. We overcome evil actions and evil thoughts by doing good. We give them the truth, right? The good word. We help them out physically. When their foolishness has made a mess of their lives, then we help them out, right? We have to do this. We don't just say, well, you know what, they're just pagans, just let them do whatever they want. It's going to make a mess. You made your bed, now you got to lie in it. No, our job is to help them, right? So many Christians just write people off because they're fools. And it's like, no, we are supposed to help the fool. They're our enemies, yes, but we don't repay their evil with evil. We repay their evil with good. That's what we should be thinking. So many people go online and just like railing on each other. Well, are you repaying, if they're doing evil to you, are you repaying their evil with good? Or are you just returning back to them what they're giving to you? You see so many arguments, even within even Christian believers going back and forth. The evil for evil is like, this is not how we're supposed to act. Now, there's nothing wrong with being pointed. There's nothing wrong with, calling out foolishness for what it is. We got to answer the fool, right? So sometimes you have to be harsh. Sometimes you have to rebuke. Sometimes it has to be in their face, like Jesus did, right? Calling people snakes and whatnot, saying that you're a child of the devil. That's in your face. That's not playing around. But he did that because he was trying to do good to them, right? Not because he's like, well, I hate you people. You suck. And I wish you were all dead. And then I'm going to try to get you to go to hell. I'm going to do things. I'm going to, coerce you into doing evil. God didn't do that. Jesus didn't do that. He wasn't trying to get them to do evil. He confronted their evil. Sometimes he did it in an abrupt way, which was necessary for the situation. But, he didn't repay foolishness with foolishness. There you go. So don't do that. Answer the fool. But then give him what he needs in the situation that he's in. And then finally, Luke 17:10. So you also, when you have done all that you were commanded, say, we are unworthy servants. We have only done what is our duty. We gotta be humble when we do this. Many Christians, especially online, come off as arrogant jerks, know-it-alls that think they are the beginning of knowledge. Like, you're not that, People are so critical. I've tried to stay away from that. I try to stay away from the comments section. If you want to post something online, that's fine. But these people just go on and commenting back and forth, and and there's people I respect that do that, and but I'm like, why would you want to do this? This is where's the line between answering the fool according to his folly and not answering the fool according to his folly? Sometimes I think a majority of it is you are entering into how the fool is acting, and you are now the fool yourself. So in the end, a lot of these people end up being the fools themselves, and they're just like the fool. It's like, well, you messed up there. You shouldn't have answered the fool according to that folly. Now give them the truth, but don't be the fool as you're answering it, right? We answer the fool. We don't become the fool to answer the fool. We answer the fool according to his folly. But that's what we need to do. We need to keep doing that, but we need to make sure that we don't cross our line, because a lot of people online do that. Why? Because they answer in an unhelpful way. They're not trying to build people up. They're just trying to get their own way across. Like, you are answering the fool to help that fool so that they wouldn't be a fool anymore. Are you trying to help that person? Are you honestly? I would like to sit down with a lot of these people that make these comments and all these things, just to sit down and be like, are you really trying to help these people out? Or are you just trying to hurt them? Are you just trying to destroy these people? Or even if you think this is a person a false teacher, like, yeah, don't sit down and eat with them. But still, do you want them to be destroyed and go to hell? Or you want to try to build them up, encourage them to know the truth? To stop doing what they're doing and to experience the truth of God. Is that what your motivation is? Or is it just to be the avenger? And I think so many people, if you looked at if they can stop themselves and look, they're taking vengeance. They want vengeance because what they say is not nice. It's not kind. It's not gentle. It's not respectful. You still have to respect them, it says. And so you see that, there is the need sometimes to be blunt and to be pointed, but there's also the idea of being respectful and being gentle, and you have to balance both of those at the same time. Sometimes you'll fail, yeah. You might be too harsh, and sometimes you might not be harsh enough, but you still have to practice that. So, we answer the fool, but we don't answer the fool in the way the fool acts. We don't become the fool in order to answer the fool. So when we go online, when we have interactions with people, real people, we got to be careful of what we're doing. We have to be careful because it's so easy to become the fool yourself. And then you lose your position in church. You'll be not above reproach because now you're the fool. You're acting like the fool. And people will reproach you and slander you because you're being an idiot, not because that you love Christ and they hate Christ. That's what you want. You want to be reproached because people hate Jesus, not because you're an idiot. So, answer the fool according to his folly, but don't answer the fool according to his folly. Wisdom from the book of Proverbs. A little bit of paradoxical idea there, but I think we get the idea here. We can't become fools to answer them. We have to remain the wise. So let's do that. Let's remain wise. Let's do what we need to do, and make disciples of all nations, teaching them to observe all that Jesus has commanded us. That's what we do, and we do it with gentleness, respect, and in a way that fits the situation, without becoming fools ourselves. It's a tall order, but we can do it. So come back next time, and we'll look at some more Proverbs. Yep, we got a couple more weeks of that, and then we'll head into the Christmas season this year, and then we'll be done. So awesome. All right, well, I'll see you back here next time.